maybe 3 seconds. And I think we should be live on Facebook. Hi everybody, welcome to the Strategic Swing Trader. I'm Sami Abu Saad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well, hope you had a good weekend. We're going to do what we always do, which is go over the market and go over some swing ideas for next week. I have an amazing swing watch list for next week. But before we start, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss today is for educational purposes only. Also, if you'd like to download a copy of my free ebook, link for that is in the description. Amazing ebook for free, totally free. Link is in the description. But with that said, let's go ahead and switch on to the charts and get started. I copied and pasted the watch list because it's kind of a long watch list this week into the description of the video. So feel free to just go to the description, copy it, paste it into your platform, and let's go over the charts together, shall we? If you find benefit in today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button, as that triggers the YouTube algorithm and helps me out a great deal. First, we'll take a look at the market. The market, as it should have, based all week last week. Again, it's usually not good when it bases, because then things don't move very much. But in this case, that's what should have happened, because the 20 MA on the daily chart, as you can see, was totally flat. So I expected to get a base. I got a base. Great. So now, what about going forward? What should the bias be? Should we be bullish, bearish? And we should be neutral until we either break out or break down. Breakout means on the Qs, we would need to take out 393.75. If you want to write it down, feel free. 393.75. If we take out 393.75, I'm going to be all out bullish. What is it? At what point do we turn bearish? Well, it's turning bearish. Being bearish is a bit more difficult because the market is basing at all-time highs. That in and of itself is bullish. The market is basing above the moving average, the 20-period moving average. That's bullish. The 20 MA is starting to point up. That's bullish. So it would actually be easier if the market breaks out. But it should not, the Qs, which is the tracking ETF for the Nasdaq 100, should not break under 288.85. If it does, that means the market is turning bearish. So that's kind of the upper and lower limit. That's what I'm going to be watching. I would like the market to break out, but we will find out in the next couple of days. I expect the market to make a move this week, this upcoming week. Okay, so that's the bias on the market. I'm just looking at the Nasdaq because the Qs has the tightest pattern. The SPY is not very tight. The IWM is at the all-time highs, bullish, not very tight. So the Qs, as soon as the Qs triggers, I'm gonna take action. Okay. In terms of the watch list, here we go. If you're in the Strategic Swing Trader, I already picked out the plays for tomorrow. Feel free to log on to your T3 Live account right now, and you will see which of these I am going to be taking in my own personal account, and which I'll be calling also in the newsletter tomorrow morning. If you'd rather not bother logging onto your T3 Live account, no problem. The newsletter will hit your inbox before 8 o'clock Eastern Time, okay? First item on my list is AMC, and as you can see, the 20 MA on the daily chart is curling and pointing up, so that's a breakout. And then on the hourly chart, it's a pretty nice breakout over 340. Stop under 313 or so. Target would be the prior pivot high, okay? The prior high, it's not a pivot, it's just a prior resistance high. So that's the AMC. APVO had a 33% gap on Thursday. Most large gaps have not been going up or down. They've just been basically flatlining after the open. So it didn't go anywhere on Thursday. It didn't go anywhere on Friday. If it takes out 47.30, I expect this to pop. The stop for it would be under $44. So it's a pretty big stop. $3.50. BILI broke out on Thursday. Friday was a narrow range bar. There's an 80% chance that after a wide range bar, we get the next day on the daily chart, we get a narrow range bar, which is precisely what we got on the BILI. Now, this sets up the 1, 2, 3 pattern. The 1, 2, 3 pattern is when you get a breakout, and the narrow range bar is preferable for it to be inside of the range, the upper third of the previous day's range, okay? In this case, it isn't, but it's still okay. As a long, over this bar's high, stop below it. 1 or 2 cents above it, 1 or 2 cents below it. BKEP is an incredibly thinly traded stock, very low volume, but beautiful monthly chart. So I like it as a long-term play. Now, since it's very, very thin, doesn't trade very much, I'm not going to talk about it more. But I just want to share it with you as a long-term play. Blue had an amazing breakout on Wednesday. Thursday was a narrow range bar. I told you there's an 80% chance that after a wide range bar, you get a narrow range bar, okay? We got a narrow range bar on Thursday. We got another narrow range bar on Friday. So this is setting up as a 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern, continuation pattern. The entry would be over 335, stop would be under 297, okay? On the blue, CORT. Now, CORT, it's too bad that it gapped as much as it did because I liked the CORT as a long-term play. Look at that nice rounding bottom on the monthly chart. But it's already pretty close to the prior resistance. I still like it higher to 25 bucks, 26 maybe. But, you know, we're close to that price already. So it doesn't have that much room until it hits resistance. I think it's going to take out the all-time high, to tell you the truth. It's incredibly bullish. But until the next resistance area, it only has about slightly less than 2 to 1 in reward to risk. The CYCN is very similar to the blue in that it's transitioning on the daily chart and has a 1, 2, 3. Instead of a 1, 2, 3, 4, it has just a 1, 2, 3. Entry would be over 306, stop under 287. Next on the list is KALA. It does not even look good on the daily chart. But check out the monthly. That, my friends, is a nice monthly buy setup. Deep pullback, no doubt. And that's why I wouldn't expect it to go all the way right back up. But to here, what about to here? To $9 or $10. Could it? Yes. It's at 750, so that would be like a 30% move just to $9. So I like it as a monthly buy setup, the KALA. MAC. MAC has been in a sideways base for how many months? Since July, the beginning of July, end of June. And then just broke out at the beginning of the month, November 9th. And it's been basing above this large base. I always like small bases above big bases, okay? So a small base that comes after a large base is a very, very bullish thing. Now, unfortunately, this is not a very tight base, but if it takes out the highs with a stop under the lows, do I think it will eventually go? Yes. I don't think it's going to rock and roll right away as soon as it triggers, but I think this is a solid long-term idea. MAC is a real estate stock, I think. Mara is a Bitcoin stock, and Bitcoin has been on fire. Unfortunately, I missed out on Bitcoin, but I have Ether. I have 30. This is Ether, and I played the breakout over 495. I have about 30, almost 31 coins of Ether. So Ether has been pretty good last few days. I mean, it's up over $75 just the last 3 days since I got in it. I called it in the room on Friday. Actually, Thursday. On Thursday, I called it on Thursday. Over 495. It's already at 560 something. 560. I'm not watching it closely because my target on Ether, it's at 570. 569.59. I'm not watching Ether closely because my target is 800. Okay? That's why I'm not even paying much attention to it. But cryptocurrency has been on fire. Mara and Riot, RIOT, are both cryptocurrency stocks. They have amazing monthly charts. The daily charts, which is where I get my swing ideas from mostly, not as good, to be sure, not as good. But the long-term charts look solid on Mara and Riot. Next on the list is Mile, very, very thinly traded. It's got not such a good daily, over here long, stop right here, but it has a beautiful weekly breakout play. So I like it, but again, it's a thinly traded stock. I don't love the daily, personally. NBEV, as you know, is a cannabis stock. I think is a beverage, whatever, mixed with cannabis. I have no idea. But I like it higher as a 1, 2, 3 on the daily, and I like it more as a long-term play. I like it on the monthly chart and the weekly. Monthly broke the downtrend. So that's what I like about it. Next is the TCON. TCON is a little late. I made a mistake. I should have played it this day as an earnings play, but I decided not to do it, and it popped like 30 some percent in one day. Now it went back up and is now has a 1, 2, 3 pattern on the daily chart. I like it because of the monthly. Look at that monthly chart just breaking out. I mean, could it get to 50? Yes. I'm not even kidding. It could get to 39 and it still wouldn't be such a big move on the monthly chart. The stock is dropped from $200. So I like the TCON or TCON as a long over 880, stop 801, under 801. I'd put it at 799. And USO, I don't love the USO, but I think USO is higher. Again, we played it here long. I tried it again. It didn't work. So I had to get out. And notice the sell setup hasn't failed yet. But I can tell that the daily chart is looking better because it's basing above the 20 now. So I like it as a long over the base, stop under it, as a long-term play. Not as a swing, but rather as a long-term play. Target being 45 to 50 bucks. So I like the USO as a long-term play. Last but not least is the UTZ, which is just a beautiful breakout over the highs, stop under the base. Okay? So those are the bullish items. Let's take a look at the bearish stuff. We got ALT, gap down and base, so under the base, stop above the base, looks good. That's ALT. CODX is similar, not as tight, but actually the pattern looks even better. Under the support, stop right here, and target is down at the bottom. I don't know what the bottom is, I forget. It's 820, around 820. So CODX and ALT similar. CSPR is a beautiful gap down, sloppy here, not a very tight base, but look at the hourly chart. Beautiful breakdown. So under the base right here, because the pattern is a bit sloppy, I'd give it the highest high. I wouldn't try to get cute with the stop. I'd just give it the room. And look for a target at the prior low on the weekly chart, which as you can see is around 315. So it's got a lot of room to fall. It's at $6. That would be almost a 50% drop. Okay, so I like it as a longer term play. CSPR. CSPR reminds me of the CRSR, which if you remember last week, this was on the list. This was the only one out of the, I don't know how many items I had on my list last weekend when I did the video, that I called long for the newsletter. Over 29.50. I don't remember exactly what the stop was right here. And it's at 40.33. That's a 37% gain. I looked at my account just before I came on the mic. I was up 37% in 5 days since last week, since last Monday basically. Okay, so beautiful, isn't it? CRSR, Corsair Gaming. So this kind of reminded me of it, the CSPR. EBON had a gap down, but it was a secondary offering, so it's not the kind of gap that I like. At the same time, it has a 1, 2, 3 continuation pattern, with target being the prior low here around 415. EMAN is similar to this ALT and the CODX, except this is a $1 stock. So short, stop, and target is around 83 cents or so. Okay, so that would be a 20+% drop. GLOP, I was in the GLOP short right here. I did it as a 1, 2, 3, and as you can see, it failed last week. So I had to jump out. Usually if the stock breaks down and then it fails to follow through, I immediately lower my stop. So I lowered my stop to this bar's low, 230, and I'm glad I did, because it would have stopped out, continued higher, and now has a sell setup. So under the base, stop above it. Okay, on the GLOP. GSKY, similar, has a sell setup. So this would be an hourly base breakdown right here, short, stop above, and target the prior low around 350 or so. The NEPT is a 1, 2, 3. So short under this bar, 1 or 2 cents, stop 1 or 2 cents above it. It's a 1, 2, 3, and has plenty of room to the prior low on the weekly chart around $1. So from 166 to $1 is the target. Last but not least is the VRM, and it doesn't look so good on the daily chart, but check out the hourly. Looks pretty good if it can break under the lows. If it goes up, then no harm, no foul, no play. But if it breaks under the double bottom right here, triple bottom almost on the hourly chart, then I like it as a breakdown. Again, if you're a subscriber to the Strategic Swing Trader newsletter, I already picked out the plays for us. I'm obviously not going to play every short and every long that I have on the watch list, but the ones that I think are ready to go, I already put orders in my own account. I already completed the newsletter for tomorrow. Feel free to log on to your account and you'll see the plays that I'm going to be taking. One last thing I forgot, I was going to tell you, I was going to show you. Here it is. I had an amazing experience earlier today. I had a hawk land on the window ledge just outside my office. Check it out. I think this is a juvenile red-tailed hawk. This is just right outside my office right here. Isn't it amazing? Look how big it is. And this is, I think, a juvenile one, because when it's, I think I read after 2 years it gets the red tail. And I know it didn't have a tail. This is just right outside my window, right here, 3 feet away. It stayed on the ledge for 30 minutes. I was shocked. It must have not been able to see through the window because I have window film on my windows, because I was just 2 feet away, 3 feet away from the window. There it is. Amazing, isn't it? So I just wanted to share it with you. Was opening its wings, I guess, so that it warms up the blood vessels in its wings, is what I read. So that's what it does. But amazing, amazing. Loved it. So that was earlier today. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot, and I would appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to customer service, info@t3live.com. Again, info@t3live.com. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end, and I will talk to you next week. Or if you're in the room, I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Cheers, everybody. Take care.